guys, welcome back to Red Dead Redemption 2. In this video we will be reading some more of the in-game literature, specifically the letters. As I mentioned at the end of last video, there are quite a few letters, 33 to be precise. I don't know if I will read all of them or just the more interesting ones, but we'll just see as we go through them. I'm trying not to get too caught up on chronological order. I don't think the order in which they are listed here is the order in which I found them, but that shouldn't matter too much. So let's get started with this first one. Invitation from Mayor Lemieux. May 1899. Monsieur Kilgore, it was lovely to make your acquaintance at the residence the other night. You meet so many people at these kinds of functions, it is hard to keep track. I did notice, however, that you were near my study when poor Pierre had an accident and some documents simply disappeared. Now I have spent far too long in politics to make accusations wildly, but just long enough to know when I am owed a small favor. Perhaps your gung-ho frontier spirit and my cold, old-world cynicism could work quite well together. Indulge me in a meeting at least. Come to the back of the mayoral residence any night you wish. Knock on the door and my assistant Jean-Marc will let you in. I hope to see you soon. Your newest friend, Henri Lemieux. Second letter is a note from Robert Elliot Patchen. To he who finds this, I am told, by those who attend my shows, applauding mightily, throwing flowers upon the stage when I perform in San Francisco or Chicago, Saint Denis or New York, that I should be the happiest, gayest person alive. That when the curtain closes and the roar of applause engulfs, and we walk back out on stage for a bow, I should be basking in adulation. Instead, I am riddled with despair. I need to be inebriated on wine or numb from laudanum to relish and recapture the exhilarations I had as a child. Make no doubt, dear reader, that I grinned with delight upon seeing that I was featured on a card for Millicent's cigarettes, the stars of the stage. Indeed, I do find it queer that my card was listed after Jim Cobb, who I dare say has not sold out theaters in New York to my level, which is for certain. But purchasing a packet of cigarettes and seeing my face inside did bring me joy, if briefly. I had to purchase a fair number to achieve this event, but it did finally bring delight, though these moments are few and far between. Looking in the mirror at the grey receding hairline, being called upon to play roles of fathers and old men rather than can suffer these indignities no longer. I am a lover, a poet, not a grandfather, a gardener. Someone said that to ensure success in this life, all you need is ignorance and confidence. I am anything but an ignorant fool, and my confidence in all things, letters and love, fades and grows flaccid as each season passes. I simply cannot endure the facade of enjoying this, and the company of any of you, and the company of any of you one moment longer. I apologize for everything. Robert Elliot Patchen. Just trying to see if this, yeah. So I can't just go previous. Letter number 3 is a letter to Henrietta Douglas. A letter about the Whitehorn Hotel fire. From New York City to Henrietta Douglas, Tumbleweed. Miss Douglas, it is with great sadness I write to inform you of the death of your husband. You may have read in the newspapers about the tragic fire that occurred at the Whitehorn Hotel here. As residents gathered to watch the St. Ignatius's Day Parade, a few people began to cry out as smoke emerged from windows on the second floor of the hotel. Within 30 minutes, the entire building was engulfed in flames, and those on the upper floors were trapped. Your husband's body was recovered the next day amidst the rubble. We are working with the local coroner to prepare his body for shipment in you. No. We are working with the local coroner to prepare his body for shipment to you. Please write back at this address on the envelope. With sincere sorrow, Jacob Sears. Letter number 4 is a letter to Judge Finley from Gertrude Eastwell. Judge Finley, dear sir, your honor, you will pardon me for addressing you. However, I am very ill, so much so that I am not in a condition to attend my trial. If it would please your honor, I would like you to send me to the poor farm and send me my release. I am the unfortunate victim of the morphine habit. Judge, your honor, you have discharged me on more than one occasion, and by doing so have exhibited great kindness. If you do so again, I promise I will go away and be a good girl in the future. Yours obediently, Gertrude Eastwell. I can't really remember when or in what circumstances I found all these letters. Like if there was some... They must have just been in random houses or on people. Anyway, letter number 5 to the editor, Saint-Denis Times Tribune, Saint-Denis, Lemoyne. Dear sir, it has come to my attention that the habit of writing letters to newspapers has completely consumed my life. All I do all day is think about what I am going to say that is witty, pithy, and will impress people I do not know. I never used to care about being pithy, but now it is consuming my life. My My once successful career as a fertilizer salesman is now but a distant memory. My life is now dominated by what others think of me. My vanity, pride, and self-absorption have become everything to me. Yet I never used to be this way. On the eve of a new century, I pray that mankind will emerge fresh into a better world, one less consumed by the poses, pretensions, and images that have obsessed him in the 19th century. I have many hopes for our species, but few for myself. Please destroy any future letters I send you without opening them. I am turning over a new leaf. Life as a seller of chemical fertilizer is far more fulfilling than this shadow life as a man who exists merely through the eyes of others. Yours faithfully, Dorian Weatherby, Esquire. P.S. I note that in your last issue you misspelled my name. That's pretty funny. Okay. The next letter is a letter to Miriam Wegner from Annebella. My dearest Miriam, I decided that I would write to you again because even though our worlds seem so far apart these days, I think of you often. New York is crowded and dirty, but so alive. It feels like anything is possible, even for a country girl like me. And my biggest news is that I have been cast in a Henrik Ibsen play. It is a small role, but now I can finally call myself a Broadway actress. Sometimes I do miss home, though, the peace and the clean air, being able to take a ride at first light. I received a letter from Lily Millet a while back, and it appears that she is experiencing some financial difficulties. She was always very sensible with money, so I am worried that Weasel Cooper has his claws in her again. She also mentioned that she has not seen you leave the house in months. I cannot even begin to imagine how painful it must have been for you to lose Joshua in such a horrible way, and I would never assume to instruct you how to grieve, but I worry about you existing in such isolation. This must be the 6th letter I have sent to you with no response. Please let me know that you are all right, even if it is just the shortest of notes to tell me to mind my own business. You can tell me anything. Your loving cousin, Annabelle. P.S. Uncle Eugene, with the greatest of respect, if you are withholding my mail from Miriam, or, dare I say, constraining her in any other way, I beg you to reconsider your actions. I know how much you love her, but please do not confuse love with possession. She is a beautiful, intelligent woman with so much life ahead of her. The next letter is Mr. William Errington. I guess it's a 5 Rue de la Diligence, Saint-Denis, Lemoyne. Dear William, how aggrieved I find myself to write your address on this letter. Not so long ago I would have transcribed your residence at the finest college and the finest university in all of England. Now, well, what is this preposterous place? I am ashamed even to write its silly little name. gushing correspondence has not moved me so much as an inch. You write of great skies, beautiful lands, hard-working fellow citizens, and your own firm resolve. Had not England skies? Is the land of your birth not also beautiful? If you were lacking in hard work, I could have remedied your predicament quite easily, and done so without sundering our families in this appalling way. Your mother still believes you are touring Italy. If you do not reply to this letter with assurances that you intend to come back, I shall tell her your return ship was lost at sea with all hands. That son is my own firm resolve. Do not test it. Your loving father. Most of these letters are pretty intense. The next letter is a letter to Angelo Bronte from Mayor Lemieux. From the office of the Mayor, City of Saint Denis, Lemoyne. May 1899. Mon cher Angelo, yet again, the city is in debt to you, and I am flabbergasted by your generosity. The magnificent gift you provided will prove to be a cornerstone in our financing of our dream of establishing a world-renowned university in our city. We are now well on our way to the funds necessary to found both the Divinity School and the Humanities College. Further, future students in Lemoyne owe a great deal to the vision of men such as you. I am forever grateful, your friend, Henri Lemieux. It's not really a letter, but no. Okay, next is a letter from Miss Hobbs. Dear Mr. Morgan, I am delighted at the specimens you have been sending me. They are working wonderfully. The exhibition is coming together. I am writing to let you know I will be traveling for a while to visit old friends who moved to Oregon. Perhaps I will write when I have returned. Sincerely, Miss L. Hobbs, taxidermist. Next is a lost letter to Bonnie, which appears to have been in water. Dear Miss McFarlane, I am sorry. I said it, I'm sorry. You're right, I do let things get out of control in my head. I always have. I see that, but I love you. We are meant to be together. It is our destiny. I know it is. I saw us in a dream raising kids. You were very happy as my wife, and I was proud to be your husband. Dreams don't lie, and neither do I. I'm heading off to make my fortune, and when I come back a rich man, you'll see what a fine husband I will make you, and a father to our children. And no, I won't grow up. On that subject, you're wrong. I've got so many things to say to you. I'm going to continue with the writing of this letter later, but believe me when I say we are destined for a long, happy life together. Even your father will come to believe it and accept me, no matter how humble my birth. Hang on, is this Bonnie McFarlane from the first game? McFarlane Ranch. I never thought about it, I think. And I'm not sure if that's her name, but I'm pretty sure it is. That's kind of a cool Easter egg, a link with the between the two games. just standing still while I read this. And still my horse is getting tired. So perhaps I should get off. I don't know if that makes any difference, but yeah. So we were at this little letter, 12 of 33. Might be able to get through all of them. Then it will be just a pretty long video, but I guess that's fine as well. So this is a letter from Cornwall Kerosene and Tar. Dear Mr. Farley, it is very regrettable that you have rejected the various extremely generous purchase offers presented to you by Cornwall Kerosene and Tar. Mr. Cornwall has obligingly consented to allowing you a grace period of a further 3 weeks to reconsider your position, and we strongly advise you to do so. After that, I would be very concerned about a company of your size being able to continue to compete on price in the state of New Hanover and to secure acceptable rates for railroad transportation. We look forward to hearing from you soon and, as always, wish you the best of good fortune in all your endeavors. Yours faithfully, Cameron Spence, Vice President, Cornwall Kerosene and Tar. Next is a letter from Mary. Dear Arthur, I've written this letter 100 times or more, and I cannot get it right. It's me. You know it's me from the bad handwriting. I know I said when last we spoke and I was going off to get married that we would not speak again. I know I said a lot of things and I meant them. I suppose at the time, but I am not so... No. I know I said a lot of things and I meant them, I suppose, at the time, but I am not so proud as to not speak to people who care for me or cared for me. I've been in Valentine for a couple of months. I had some bad luck, and well, it's a long story and not an interesting one, but I am here for now. I saw a couple of girls, or whatever the polite term is for them, that ran with you and your associates in town, and I heard tell of a man who sounded like you. I would love to see you again, if you could spare me a little bit of your time. I'm renting a room at Chadwick Farm, just north of Valentine. Yours, Mary Linton. Next is a letter to Leviticus Cornwall from Archibald Jameson. Dear Leviticus, thank you for the telegram and for your continued interest in the Jameson Mining Company. However, any news you have received of mismanagement or financial difficulties at the mine in Ansburg are simply fake, and I would urge you to question your sources. The coal industry is quite different from the oil industry in a number of ways, so I certainly remain open to a business meeting at your convenience to exchange ideas and educate each other on our respective areas of corporate expertise. I would also be delighted to host you in Ansburg and give you a personal tour of the mine and its associated facilities. I look forward to further correspondence. Yours sincerely, Archibald Jameson. is a letter to Leviticus Cornwall from Leland Oil Development Company. Dear Mr. Cornwall, we are yet to receive payment of $2,000 for the initial phase of exploration at the Wapiti Indian Reservation, Amberino, as agreed in the contract between Cornwall Kerosene Tar and the Leland Oil Development Company, dated November 9th, 1898. On receipt of the funds, we will proceed with phases 2 and 3 of the project and present you with the detailed reports of our findings within the month. Yours respectfully, James Critchley, Head of Accounts at Leland Oil Development Company. Next is a letter to Nate from Momma. Dearest Nate, I don't know how many letters I've written now, but I won't stop trying. Even the act of writing feels like some connection to you, which is certainly better than none. I can understand how hurt and angry you must be for walking out on you like I did, but I promise that I love you with all my heart. I just couldn't take it a day longer. You know your father's temper, especially when he was drinking, which was all the time at the end. I found work and I'm renting a small house. Just give me the word and I will send for you. We can both start again. Love always, Momma. Next is a second letter from Mary. My dear Arthur, I hope this letter finds you well. I wanted to thank you for your help with Jamie. He and Daddy are still arguing, but I understand that Jamie is thinking about going back to college. Whatever happens, I believe you saved his life, and we are all truly grateful. Oh, Arthur, I have made such a mess of my life, time and again. Why can I not change and be the woman I want to be? Why couldn't you change and be a man and put down all those fantasies that shroud your judgment? Life is very confusing, and I see now that I am not very good at it. I am afraid we have got ourselves into another mess. It's not my fault, but I need your help. I'm staying at the Hotel Grand in Saint Denis. Oh, Arthur, I know it is wrong to ask you, but I have nobody else, and for what we once had together, I beg of you, even though I am ashamed to do so. Yours, Mary. Next is a letter to Glen and Eddie from Momma. Glen and Eddie, I've gone to track down those men and get your money back. The door is locked and the windows are boarded shut. Promise me you won't answer to nobody who comes calling, even if you think you know them. There's enough food and water for 4 days, and more, but I should be home by tomorrow night at the latest. Practice your reading and writing for me. All my love, Momma. Letter to Edmund from Mother. My dear Edmund, what has gotten into you of late? Our dinners together, which were once such a pleasure to me, have become a terrible strain. You appear at times tired, distracted, febrile, and agitated, and sometimes all those things at once. It was a mistake for you to have ever moved out of home. While I approved of your decision to forego marriage in order to spend more time with me, I did not envisage it would be this kind of company. Maybe a wife is what you need after all. Your kindly neighbor has informed me of your comings and goings from your rooms at all hours of the night. Does this mean there is a close friendship your mother doesn't know about? I hope your taste in companionship has improved these past years, but I shall keep an open mind. I should like an explanation of all this from you presently. Your loving and concerned mother. P.S. I hope you're eating and sleeping and taking the laudanum Dr. Finkel's gave you. That should improve your nerves somewhat. Next is a letter to the editor. Dear Mr. Editor, I must say I am alarmed by the paucity of coverage your August journal has dedicated to the recent killings in the region. The perpetrator of these crimes is clearly a man of great intelligence, power, and no small amount of cunning. He presents a clear and present danger to all readers of your publication, and most probably to the writers of it as well. I would suggest you begin to treat him and his creations with the reverence that they deserve. God help us all. Yours, a concerned citizen. Next is a letter to Uncle Louis from Elijah. September 6th, 1861. Dear Uncle Louis, I will keep this brief because I am on the run once again. After escaping the switch and whip of the Pennington family, I was captured by a white man outside the town of Rhodes, and have spent the last 3 months or so in the worst conditions of my life. He took me to a shack called Old Harry Fenn in southern Lemoyne, where I was chained to a wall night and day, in a filthy room with only the barest minimum of sustenance. I ain't sure if he was a slave catcher by trade, or just plain evil, or both, but if I hadn't escaped my shackles, I doubt I would have survived much longer. Now I intend to make my way as safely as possible up to Canada to join you and Cousin Samuel. I imagine it will take me a few weeks, but I am determined to remain free, and I am very much looking forward to continuing my schooling with you. I intend to stow away on a train heading north, and will post this letter when I reach the next town. Best, Elijah. Next is a letter from Theodore Levin. Dear Mr. Kilgore, I very much doubt you read the literary pages, but the story of Boy Calloway's final adventures has been quite a sensation. The Wild West may have been tamed, but the appetite for tales of it has not. The book, of course, is terrible, utter tripe, a saccharine hagiography of a horrible man, but it is selling like hotcakes, and the best thing about writing about saints is that they are dead. Thank the good Lord. A wise man once told me the joy of gunslinging was that it is win-win. You get freedom or glory. Calloway can have the freedom. I'll take the glory, and you can have the satisfaction of knowing the truth behind the famous lie, or maybe Calloway has the glory and I have the freedom. I cannot quite decide. Either way, he's dead. Thank you again, good Lord. And half of the proceeds of this nonsense's dissemination are yours. Yours truly, Theodore Levin. Next is a letter to Martha from Garfield. August 17th, 1864. My dearest Martha, I miss you so much. Life makes sense when we are together. This war no longer makes sense to me. When I signed up, it seems like 1,000 lifetimes ago. Everything seemed so simple. We were going to express our rights as states to do as we goddamn well pleased, and hang whatever any fools in the North told us. I cannot believe now that this was a principle I would die for, and yet it is a principle I have seen so many men I grew up with be slaughtered for. That and their own stupid pride. We Southerners are such proud fools. Now I am only proud about one thing, the love I share with you. You, a Yankee, an abolitionist. Everything I am supposed to hate and now love so dear. How can you love me back when I am such a fool? I cannot wait for this war to end. I thought many times about running away, but General Harris has taken to shooting deserters. I am still too proud to allow for that. It seems we are heading towards an enemy camp in Scarlet Meadows for one last battle. We have almost no chance of winning. Our morale is almost entirely spent, and the Yankees are far too strong. But after the accusations of cowardice leveled against General Harris for his failure to support General Quinn last month and all that drama, he seems hell-bent on a fight. I even overheard Major Smith complaining in the officers' mess about General Harris. None of his junior officers trust him very much anymore. I hope I do not die. Not because I care 2 figs for myself, but because of the sadness it would bring to you. I miss you, yours, Garfield. Pretty sad. Next is a letter from Charles, I guess it's French, Charles Châtenay. Pretty sure that's the eccentric artist you meet a few times inside missions. Mon cher ami, I made it. I have the sun on my face, sand between my toes, and a beautiful vahine in my bed. The islands are everything I thought they would be, and more. You would not believe the light, and the colors, and the people here, so much brighter and more alive than anything or anyone in Saint-Denis. It feels like a world away, which of course it is. You may be surprised, but you are my only true friend from those dark, dreary days. You did not ask for anything, you only gave. How perfect, how rare. I detest selfish asses more than civilization. I detest selfish A's more than civilization itself. But what is civilization really but organized selfishness? I must constrain my most primal and vital desires, so you may be comfortable. No merci. This island paradise is what the civilized world would call primitive, but the people here are the most generous in ways I may not put into words I have met. Why is this? Because they are free. I have never painted like I paint now. It is work the likes of which has never been seen. Before I sent this, I shipped some canvases to New York to be sold. Perhaps if you own that little scribble, it may be worth something now. Either that or laugh at my ineptitude. Always yours, Cece. Next is a letter from the Lemoyne Raiders. William, I am writing to let you know our raids against the Jayhawkers in Lawrence, Kansas have been successful. There are many times since we set out on this campaign that I doubted there was a God who loved us, but today I have a glimmer of hope. That they call us Lemoyne Raiders, bushwhackers, and border ruffians does not diminish our fight for a free state, and to be free from the incursions of northerners set on changing our way of life. I hope you will continue to work to recruit more young men to our cause here in Lemoyne. We will ride through their ranks and smite down the oppressors. History is not over and shall be rewritten. It is always darkest before the dawn. Sincerely, William Marcus Anderson. And next is a poem called Dear Annebella. You told me not to write, yet knew I must. Please read this through. Here I have made a home for both of us. If you but knew. Beneath Mount Shan my little cabin lies, enclosed by trees. My work goes well, here peace and open skies bring health and ease. 'Tis simple life, no crowds, no strife, no cause of restless sleep. No lawlessness, because there are no laws but ours to keep. How are the boys? I miss them every day. Oh, let them come. They'll eat fresh fish and breathe clean air and play and feel the sun. You are afraid to leave all that you know, I understand. Have faith, my Annebella. Love shall grow in fertile land. This is another poem called A Day's Walk. I walk on Owanjila's shore and bathe and watch the daylight kindles yellow fire above the dam and soon ignites a swath of eastern pines until the lakes appear of blood-red waters, yellow, gold, then blue. Once more I pack my tent and join the trail. Beside the river, heading north, the dew still wet upon the grass, the light still pale. Here Canis latrans hans leporidae, Crotalus atrox lurks in longer grass, and once I saw the distant amber eye of Ursus horribilis watch me pass, and I among them, Homo sapiens, student not master, brother not their lord. Amid these fragrant pines, my blood transcends myself, an ancient kingship is restored. Uphill the trees grow bare, seared long ago by some forgotten fire. The trail turns north. Soon I can see old Hagen capped with snow, across a tide of lupines rolling forth. And there I leave There's something missing from these lands. Oh, come, my Annebella, I implore. Next is a mysterious sermon. At the second hour under the half moon, by the great love and grace of our Saviour, Kukowaba, voyager of time and galaxies, we cast off our corporal shells, so his vessel can take our spirits to the promised realm, to live in peace and power until the 2000th year, when we will return for the new chosen and worship once again at the peak of Mount Shan. In his love we rejoice always. Next is a letter to Annette from Claude. Annette, I did not want to write this letter. I thought I had been clear at the stable, and clear again when you waited for me outside the general. Harriet was still inside. She still could have seen you. It's a miracle she did not. Now I know I made promises to you, and I know the time we had was good, but Harriet is my wife, and if she's willing to give me another chance, I need to give her and myself that opportunity. I cannot know you any longer. Please stop looking for me in town. Please stop leaving me packages at the post office. Please, for the love of God, please do not approach Harriet. I do care about you, but I cannot have you in my life anymore. Leave me and my family alone. Claude. Next. Looks like a telegram kind of thing. Tacitus Kilgore Mining Company certificate. Okay. Tacitus Kilgore Mining Company. This is to certify that blank is the holder of blank shares inclusive in the above company, subject to the provisions of the memorandum and articles of association thereof, and that the sum of $1 has been paid on each of the said shares. Secretary blank. Okay. Should be just a few more. Letter from the mayor's office, June 1899. From the office of Jean-Marc Mercier, Mayor of Saint-Denis. Dear Mr. Kilgore, these are troubling times at City Hall with the resignation of Mayor Lemieux, but civic business continues. The new mayor has asked that you be formally commended for your recent services to the city of Saint-Denis. Please accept this token of the gratitude of the citizenry, along with a personal message from the mayor. This scandal will pass and we will be stronger than ever. Yours respectfully, the office of the Mayor of Saint-Denis. Next is a second invitation from Mayor Lemieux, June 1899. Monsieur Kilgore, I could not have wished for better fruits from our unconventional partnership. The works hanging in our gallery are quite rightly authenticated, and that grubby little man from New Haven has acquired some humility. Excellent. I do hope you might be willing to work with me again. Many men of more secure positions than yours would do desperate things to be in the good graces of the mayor, and to use an Americanism. I feel I still have some chips to cash. I trust you understand my meaning. As before, come to the back of the mayoral residence one night, and Jean-Marc will let you in. Thank you again, your friend, Henri Lemieux. And this this is the last one. Letter from Miss Marjorie. What a lovely surprise. It is so sweet of you to come and see the show. Bless. I hope it is a good one for you. Audiences can be terrible here, and the boys, well, they are simply thrilled to know you're in their own special ways. Here is the cut of the proceeds you were promised, Miss Marjorie XX. Okay. Those are, all the letters I have, for now at least. So, that's going to do it for this. I keep trying to go back to the satchel. Yeah, those are all the letters I have for now. I hope you liked listening to this. It was quite fun to make, so I will definitely do more whispered videos in the future. But for now, thank you very much for watching and for listening as always. Have a good night if you're about to fall asleep, or if you have fallen asleep to this. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.